Okay, now let me talk about a dream I had, a very brief one. Not only this one, but also another one. I did not write them down at the time, but I decided to share it because I find it quite odd and things are starting to add up a whole lot now. Now, I find myself in this particular dimension where I saw a gentleman. He was sitting across the motorway or the highway. I can't remember for certain how much roads there were between us. But he was sitting across, he was suited and booted in full white. He had white skin, he wasn't albino. He had white beard, white eyebrows, white eyelash, just white and white. Yeah, you can call it is white and white. When he saw me, he was pleasantly surprised, like, "What are you doing here?" And we look at each other, and that was just for a brief moment of surprise. And I'm telling you, I was filled with fear like I've never felt it before. Then shortly after the fear, then comes the courage. And I said to myself, okay, we're gonna fight. And I started to race across the highway, and he was racing towards me, and that is how I woke up. Right? Now another encounter with these white beings happened in a particular school. Now before I get to that story, I have this experience. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine. She's English, white Caucasian lady. And I was telling her that I had a vision that there will be a massacre in Birmingham City Centre, UK. She sat and she listened to the vision attentively. And after she finished listening to the information, her features changed and she turned around in a totally different voice. And she said to me, "If there is a massacre in Birmingham City Centre, I'm going to report you to the police." I said to her, "What are you going to report me saying that your friend had a vision that there will be a massacre in Birmingham City Centre?" I said, "Girl, I already put that up on social media." I keep it moving, and I left her. And I said to myself, this is what you get for trying to put people on their guard, for trying to protect people's children, and I left it. Some while back, I had the vision that two tall whites turn up at a particular school. As I said, I did not write down the event blow by blow, but I remember some important bits. I distinctly remember ushering children from one side of the building that was what, year 6, year 5, year 4, and year 3. I had to move them from that side of the building because that building went dark. And it's as if something bad had happened around there, so I had to move the kids, bring them around to year 1 and the nursery. Now, when I bring them around, I had a confrontation with one of the tall white gentlemen, and I remember distinctively cutting his head off. And I burnt his head on the playground, and the other one ran across the field. As I said, I did not write this vision down. I did not pay much attention to it. Right? Wish I had. And I couldn't have told anybody about it because being around English people, white people, they are going to take it offensively. And as one told me to my face, she is going to call the police. Saying this to black people, they're going to think I'm crazy, I'm into witchcraft and all sort. No. Summing all of this up, I realize that something is coming. And whatever is coming is going to come into your schools. It's gonna come into your schools. I distinctively remember seeing the two tall whites, right? And they were at this particular school. Information on what happened blow by blow, I don't remember. But these entities are going to come to your school as friends, laughing and smiling, and they will be suited and booted, saying all the right things, doing the right things, and a lot of you will be deceived because somehow you will never learn. But it will be mainly white people. It will be mainly Caucasian people. Why? Because they are going to feel validated that these extraterrestrial come and that they are something good. So they're going to feel validated and they're going to welcome them, a lot of ordinary people, and it's going to cost them dearly. We warned you during 2020 and we are warning you now. Beings are coming, and some of them will be tall, attractive, white male. They're not your friend. They are not your friend. And it would be best if you sit on the fence. And what I notice is in the UK there is a war against dogs. Because they say dogs will tell you who they are. Right? So there is definitely a war in the UK against dogs, because dogs will be your best bet as to what is going on. Which brings me back to a particular movie. I think it's 40 Days of Night, I believe is the title of the movie. Before there was an attack on the little township, these entities, these vampire entities, send in somebody to kill the dogs. We need to pray and say glory be to the Most High.